Now that was a nice eat.
Look at that. Now that is a nice fish.
Well, g'day everybody and welcome to another full-scale Fishing Adventures episode. Currently on the beautiful Meander River, which is in the northeast of Tasmania. Tasmania is famous for dry fly fishing, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. So we're going to head up the river, cast a few dries and see if we can't catch some of those beautiful Tasmanian brown trout.
Alright, so I'm going to fish a little foam ant. The Meander browns seem to like black, so it's always a good colour to start with. And this one's just got a little bit of an orange hot spot on it. It's only small, it's a size, I'm going to say 16, I think it is. It's a beautiful day, it's only light winds, bit of cloud cover but not much, sun's out, birds are singing, life's good, if I could time my flying properly. I'll try that again. It's funny, it is really light tippet and you need to make sure that you wet the knots properly, just with a bit of spit, because otherwise the line will get hot and snap just like that one did. So lots of spits, nice gentle pull, usually that's enough to get it to cinch down tight. And I'm also going to add, even though it is foam, I'm still going to add a little bit of floating on there. Just adding that floating to the, just to the post. So I've got a really long leader. It's very important with any style of dry fly fishing. The longer the better, but particularly in Tasmania because you want really long drifts, drag-free drifts I should say. Fishing the primal 10-foot 2-weight, just simply a floating line. And yeah, like I said, my leader is long. It's almost 20 feet, my leader. And on the end of that, I've got a tippet of, this is 0.10 trout hunter. And you want to fish nice thin tippet, again, so that you get those really nice drag-free drifts. Because if it is dragging, those browns, they just don't eat it. So let's get started. So what I want to do is I want to fish nice and short so I can keep those drifts nice and neat, drag free. And I'm really just focusing on any slacker pockets or seams up the river. So I don't want to be out in that main current because that's too hard for them to sit in there. I just want to pick all those slack seams, and you'll see a bit of a V coming off your fly, and if that's happening, your fly's dragging and that's not good. So you just want it to go down the river nice and naturally. So pretty much as I work my way up the river, I'm really going to target the edges, and I'm not going to be targeting that heavy stuff out in the middle. And it's amazing sometimes how small a pocket or how shallow a pocket the fish will come out of. So Just work through everything really methodically. There's a common misconception that these fish will sit behind the rocks to get out of the current. What actually happens, they actually sit in front of the rocks because there's a thing called a hydro pocket, which is when the water splits to go around the rock. It actually creates a soft pocket in front of the rock, and that way those fish can actually sit in front of the rock, seeing what's coming down the river food-wise, and then launch out and grab it. Whereas if they're behind the rock, they don't actually see, like they can't see what's coming down the river. So I'm really targeting the fronts of the rocks more so than behind. There we go. Oh, that's what we wanted. Typical brown trout, came up, ate the dry, and then just crocodile rolled his way down the river. A bit of line tangling going on here, but it's a beautiful start. That was very cool. So the fish, probably couldn't see it on camera, but he actually came up, looked at that fly, and then followed it down the river for a little while. But that's what we wanted to catch. Beautiful Tassie brown on the dry. And I love fishing pocket water because it's super technical. Hey, 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 hey. You right there? He did not fight at all, apart from rolling around on the surface. It's a fly, flies out of him. Hey, hey, settle down. Oh no, fly's still in him. You got to give those fish a chance to eat it too. You can't strike straight away, which is often the hardest part about all of this. But beautiful Tassie brown on the dry. Very nice. So if you're fishing in Tasmania, this soft water like this is always going to have brown trout sitting in it, without a doubt. You won't be able to see it on the camera, but I'm using a really high rod. And that's just to keep all my leader and line off the water as much as possible. And the more you can do that, the less the fly is going to be influenced by the current pulling your fly line through the water. You get much better drifts. Pulled too quickly on that one. He was sitting right in that pocket. He ate it really well. Knew there was going to be one in there. Got to be one in this soft stuff there. Somewhere in this bit, there's got to be a fish. It's almost like you're watching the dry, but you're also watching underneath it as well, just to make sure that you're not missing anything. Looks so good. See a nice one in front of the rock here. I've sort of been over him a couple of times with the ant. I'm thinking I might give him something different. I think he's still there. Like to just have a couple of changes just pinned on the corner of my vest, and that way for situations like this you can just change over really quickly. Used to have the habit of keeping a patch of flies out, but end up that jumbled because I can be a little bit disorganized. So it's better off just having one or two out for the bit that you're fishing, or the area you're fishing, I find, personally. Alright, just go on the little F fly. See if you won't come back for that. Over there. Ah, snapped him off. Idiot. Came up and ate it beautifully, and I snapped him clean off. It's a bit sad. It's the trouble with light tippets, you need to be so gentle, and I've obviously just gone too hard on the strike. Anyway, I'm sure there will be more. Very nice, come charging at me. Got him. That was cool, just working up that edge. I got a beautiful. Check out the spots on him. Absolutely beautiful trout to come out and eat the dry. Alright, buddy. Hey. I want to let you go. He goes. Well, I've missed a couple, broken one off, got a couple. It's been a good little session. Really beautiful. We've got this bit of current here, but then we've got that really soft edge, some overhanging bush, which just absolutely screams brown trout right up in there. That just looks like such a good spot. Gotta be one in there. It's the cast. Oh, he ate it and I pulled the hook out of his mouth. What am I doing? Oh, it was always going to be one there. And there was, and I pulled the fly straight out of his mouth. It's a good job. Very well done. That was really nice. So nice. I saw him come up slowly underneath it and he was sort of following it down and then just like, yep, I am going to have that. Thank you very much. Another absolutely stunning fish. Slightly darker than the last one and just such beautiful orange spots. Very, very cool. All right. They just love that crocodile roll. So after missing that one, it was only, I don't know, maybe 5 meters further up, there was another one there. I was able to redeem myself. Beautiful. Yeah, I think it's important to read the river, and like I said, like we're in quite a wide bit here, and while I could keep zigzagging across to try and fish it all, I can very methodically work my way up one side, and I could always walk back down and fish up that other side if I was limited for water. But I think you just tend to get in the groove a bit better, your positioning's better, and you're not making heaps of noise crossing the river all the time. I think sometimes like that, just reading, you know, the available water and what's going to be the best way to approach it is often the best way to catch a few fish. Now that was a nice eat. That was a really nice eat. Just saw that little head poke up and then just slurp down the dry. That was beautiful. So nice. Check him out, he's a bit more silver than the others. Not as bright as spots. Still very beautiful. He's gone. Just love all this overhanging foliage with a nice slow water next to it. It just screams fish. Absolutely. Sure, I'm going to get one to come out and slurp it down. Missed the bite on that one. Just gone to the other side for a bit of a cast and one just creamed it. Ooh, that is a really nice fish. That is a really nice fish. Oh, what a cracking fish. And I missed the bite. Oh, missed the bite, but anyway. Check this one out. That is just an absolute chunk. Are you right there, mate? Hey, get him into the sun. He's angry. Oh, would you please? Just want to have a look at you. That is an absolute chunk of a meander brown. Are you right there, buddy? He's swimming. Look at that. Now that is a nice fish. What an absolute beauty. Just slurp that dry down. That was awesome. I'd been putting the odd cast along that other bank there, and I hadn't picked any up. But it just looked so good. I was very surprised that I hadn't. But then that one, it's definitely worth the effort of putting a few casts over there every now and again. Very, very cool. I love that sort of bubbly water. It's got a really nice pace to it. Ooh, that's the first rise I've seen. And there's obviously fish in there. Just gonna let that drift past where that fish was. And then just go a bit shorter. The way he slashed at the surface, I'd say he's a spinner feeder, so he might not eat it. So the general rule of thumb working up a river, it doesn't matter whether you're dry fly fishing or nymphing, is to cast over the shoulder that the edge of the river's on that you're fishing. So if you're fishing up the left hand bank, you're casting over your left hand shoulder, and then if you're on the right hand side, it's the opposite, so you're casting over your right hand shoulder. But I have found with both styles, whether you're fishing nymphs or whether you're fishing dries, is that you use that as a general rule, and then there's sometimes, you know, there might be trees, might be a particularly weird current, and then you need to just mix it up to get the fly to do what it needs to do. So just always just that foundation, and then, you know, you might need to mix it up to get the bite. Wow. Oh, it came off. Oh, beautiful fish sitting right against that tussock on the other side. And I got the hooks in him, but he jumped and just came off. Ah, that was cool, just seeing that mouth just open up. Just woof that dry down. That was very cool. Well, that was a very enjoyable little session on the meander. I only saw one rise the whole time I was fishing up the river, but that's what makes Tassie so special, is that, you know, there's no fish rising, but they're still more than happy to come up and eat the dry. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all next time.